friend of mine says he doesn't want perfection. He wants spontaneity. So I just want to remind myself. Here we go, guys. I'm going to discuss today a very famous gambling story. It's become famous in gambling circles, involving Stu the Kid Ungar and Bob Stupak. Bob Stupak was the owner of the Stratosphere casino in Las Vegas, and Stu the Kid Ungar was, of course, a world champion poker player, photographic memory, best in the world at rummy, and eventually got banned from playing blackjack. But before he was banned from the Stratosphere, he was in there playing, and Bob Stupak knew who he was, and he couldn't believe that his staff was letting him play blackjack. So he came down to the floor and he said, "Stu, you're not playing here, but I'm willing to make you a bet." And the bet's become famous, and over the years it's become embellished, but this is the real version of the story. It was told by Mike Sexton numerous times. He's a very honorable, respected person, or once was before he passed away, in poker. And he was a near dear friend of Stu, stood by him through thin and thinner, you know what I'm saying? So, this is how the story goes. Bob Stupak challenged Stu Ungar. Bob said, "You know, Stu, I bet if I take a shuffled 52 card deck and I deal down 51 cards, you can't name the last card, the 52nd card." And the bet was for $10,000. And so Bob Stupak turned the cards over one at a time, and when he got down to the last card, he said, "Well, what is it?" And Stu Ungar said the 10 of diamonds, and he was correct, and he won the $10,000 bet. And Stu said, "You're never playing in my casino again. Get out of here." But the question is, how did Stu do it? He had the photographic memory, but is that how he did it? And it turns out it wasn't. When Mike Sexton, who thought it was an amazing demonstration, asked Stu, "How did you do it?" To me, his method is more impressive than what he did. But I'm going to tell you his method. And basically what he did was he gave every single card in the deck a unique number from 1 to 52. So let's say he started with the diamonds. The ace of diamonds would be 1, the 2 of diamonds would be 2, the 3 of diamonds would be 3, and so on and so forth. Then you go to the next suit. The ace of hearts would be 14, the 2 of hearts would be 15, just like that. And so as Bob Stupak was turning over the cards, he just started adding up the cards. So if he saw the 6 of diamonds, he would count 6. And if he saw the 2 of hearts, he would count 15. So now he'd be at 21, and so on and so forth. He just counted all the cards. And when he finished, he got the total 1,368. And Stu Ungar knew that the total of all the cards would be 1,378. So he just subtracted, got the number 10. The unique card associated with the number 10 was the 10 of diamonds, and he said the 10 of diamonds. Now it's a genius method what he did, but I mean an average person wouldn't be able to do that, wouldn't be able to remember 52 unique values for each card, and then as a person turned over the cards, instantly recall what card is what value and then add continuously without making a single arithmetic error. But you know who could do that? Stu the Kid Ungar. And so it's the basis of that gambling legend that I'm going to attempt to do something never before done on YouTube. I'm going to deal out 47 cards and name the last 5 cards. Can it be done? Can it be done? Let's find out. Alright guys, so Bob Stupak turned the cards over at this pace. Alright? And Stu, in his mind's eye, was canceling out the cards to know what the last card remaining was. Now, throughout the years of YouTube, what's happened is some people have demonstrated doing more. The most I've ever seen is naming the last 4 cards that were unseen. Okay? So I'm going to go for the unofficial YouTube world record. I'm going to go for 5 cards. And I'll show you all is fair. So I'll show you the cards being mixed. This is the Asian shuffle. And in Gardena, California, the deal would rotate among the poker players, and they would use an overhand shuffle. But the thing about the overhand shuffle is Percy Diaconis exposed it, that it actually takes thousands of overhand shuffles to randomize. That's why smart gamblers, through either practice, experience, whatever, realize you have to weed the cards. So that's what they've been doing in Garden. Now casinos, the safest possible way to throw out shuffle tracking would be to strip cut the deck. So they strip cut the deck and they give it a final table riffle. All right, so it's strip cut and then you give it a final table riffle. No one can track cards. So now I'm going to go for the world record. And I'm actually going to turn the cards at a faster pace than Bob Stupak did for Stu Ungar. And I'm canceling them out in my mind's eye right now, believe it or not. It's very difficult. It's even harder when you're talking while doing this, and yet somehow I'm going to be able to do this because I'm practiced. The last guy who did a demonstration like this said he learned it by being locked up in federal prison. So this is no easy task, my friend. All right, that leaves 5 cards. Now, the guy who did it in federal prison was a blackjack influencer and notorious, very controversial on YouTube, known as Captain. There's 48 laws of power, and the first rule is never outshine the master. So I'm not going to go for 5 guys. I'm going to go for 4. I'm going to disqualify the top card because if that card were marked, I'd know what it is. But there's no way I can know what the cards underneath are. Okay, so I'm going to go for 5. I'm going to have to name 5 cards because I don't know the order. So the cards remaining are the 8 of hearts, the King of clubs, the 3 of diamonds, the 10 of spades, and the 2 of hearts. Let's see how I did. No manipulation. I named the cards. 8 of hearts, 10 of spades, 3 of diamonds, King of clubs, deuce of hearts. That's 5, but officially I'll go for 4. Now, it's very important when you're a gambler to have observational awareness. And what I did, if you have observational awareness, you know this demonstration is a fraud. But how do we know that? Well, go watch the beginning of the video. These cards are the first cards I turned over. Yeah. See, there's more than one way to get things done. That's where that saying comes from. All roads lead to Rome. Because there's many different methods to get the same result.
Yeah, fresh out the feds, shark on the felt now. Traded the concrete for the velvet cage. Still reading the room, just a different page. Blackjack night, we running the game up high. The captain and the shark, watching the chips fly. Dealing with new decks, still living that old code. Came from the yard, now we carry a heavy load. Watching the chips fly.